Welcome to the second part of Instagram clone clean architecture. The reason behind this we got this course into different parts is because our course get longer about 14 hours and YouTube changed its policy that we can only upload a video of maximum 12 hours. So that's why we had to split our course into different parts. Anyways, if you are new to this channel, like and subscribe and also show your expressions through comment because your likes and comments motivate us to make more awesome content like this. And also not forget to share it with your friends, and let's get started. Utilizing methods in the UI is one of the most challenging tasks in clean architecture, and in the previous video for reply we have completely set up our backend code and now it's time to utilize it in the UI. So in the previous video what we have done in here is we create the model for our reply and we got this data in the model which we're going to store in our Cloud Firestore database. And in the remote data source implementation, we just write the code this way of our reply. So in the create reply, what we are doing in here, first we are accessing the post collection on the unique post ID, means the specific document of the post, and then inside the specific document of the post we got the comments, and inside the comments we go to the specific document of the comment, and inside this document there will be the reply collection and there will be all the replies of that particular comment. So that's how our architecture will be in the backend. And there's a new reply model. We are accessing the data from the reply entity and try to get the document reference. If it does not exist, create it. If exists, update it. So that's it. Here we are deleting it, and the like scenario is the same as we had for the comment and the post, and reading is also the same, and update simply the description. So in this video what we are going to do is to create the qubit for the reply. So let's do it. In the presentation layer, in the qubit directory, inside this we will create a new directory and simply name it reply. Inside this reply we will create a new qubit class, use the equatable, its name will be simply reply. Open this, go to the reply state, copy this initial state and simply paste it 3 times. It's time to change their names. Reply will be reply loading, first one will be, and the second one will be reply loaded, and finally failure. And in the loaded state what we will load, final list of reply entity, and these will be replies, and also import the reply entity, also pass this reply in the constructor and make it name parameter, also make it required, and also pass it in the list for value equality. And now in the reply qubit, now we will take the instance for all the use cases. So we will do final create reply use case, create reply use case, or it will be good if we copy their name from directly here. Copy it and paste it. Right after this will also be final delete reply use case, delete reply use case, and again copy the like reply use case name, and right after this will again be final and its name, and the read reply use case will also be the same way, final read reply use case, read reply use case, and lastly the update reply use case will also be the same, final update reply use case, update reply use case. Now it's time to import them. After importing them, it's time to pass them in the constructor. So we will make this name, and we will do required create reply use case, or before this we have to do this dot, and just like this do for all of them. And after this what we have to do in here is to create the methods for the reply. So for that we have to go for the post qubit. We will copy this method from here and simply paste it in the reply qubit. Now it's time to change its name. This will be get replies and this will be reply entity. Its name will simply be reply. Pass it in here. This will be read reply use case and simply select this post, hold Alt J to select the corresponding post and change it to reply. So everything will become fixed except this. So we will change this argument name to replies and also this to replies and this one, and also import the .io for the socket exception. And that was it for our read replies method. And the post qubit, we will also copy this like post and paste it in here. After this, like or get replies. So it will be like reply and it is going to accept the parameter of reply entity and its name will be reply. Also change the use case of this to like reply use case and pass the reply in here and change these failures. Now copy this and paste it right here 3 times and first will going to be create reply and change its use case to create reply use case. Second is going to be delete reply and change the use case to delete reply use case. And lastly update reply and change the use case to update reply use case. So that was it for the qubit of the reply. We got the get replies, like, create, delete and lastly update. Now it's time to inject them in the dependency injection container to make these classes decouple from their dependencies. So in the injection container we will do first for the qubit. So we will copy this register factory method and paste it right after this. The comment will change to reply and also change this comment qubit to reply qubit and also import it and remove these parameters from here and create will be sl call and delete will also be sl call and like sl dot call and lastly the update sl call. So it will start searching for the use case. So let's go and create the use case or register the use cases. Also we will copy these comments use cases and paste it right here, change it to reply and copy this comment or select this comment, hold Alt J to select the corresponding comment, change it to reply and simply start importing them. Import create and import the read, import this like, import this update and lastly import this delete reply use case. So that was it for their injection in the injection container. Now it's time to go and utilize these methods in the UI. First of all, let's check the emulator. In the emulator, so in the previous videos of the comment, we got that comment here. We can post this comment like this. We can like the comment, we can unlike the comment, we can update the comment like this and we can also delete the comment. And now it's time to implement the reply feature or utilize the methods of the reply in the UI. So first when you click this field appears. When we write some reply in here, we post it, then the reply will be created in that specific comment document and then we will get this reply right after this and this will be gotten when we click this view replies. So first we are going to create it, then we will read it, then we will also update it and delete it. So first let's go for the creating. So in the comment main widget, here we have to go to the single comment widget. In here we are displaying the reply field. So inside this we are going to have these methods of get the reply or create the reply, like the reply, and all of these methods. So in here, when this post method is clicked, not method but this text is clicked, we will create the reply. So to create that reply here, first we will create the method for the create reply and open body. This will be called from block provider dot of context, and this context will be reply qubit, and simply call the create reply use case. From here it is going to accept the reply, which is reply entity, and first of all the reply id will be generated randomly by the UUID package. First import this and then simply call the v1 for this. So this will be randomly generated id, and the create it will be timestamp dot now, and the likes will be empty array or list, and username will be the current user who is creating that reply. So we will take this username from widget dot, or we don't have the current user in the single comment widget. To get it in the single or not in the comment main widget, we have this single user in here. So what we will do in the single comment widget, we will go and create a new field here. This will be user entity, and this will be current user, and we will pass it simply in the constructor. So in the comment main widget, while navigating or returning this single comment widget, the current user will be simply the single user. So we got the single user, and now we are allowed, or we are able to use it in the single comment widget. So we will take the current user data from the widget dot current user dot username, and this is nullable field, so make sure to pass or put the assertion operator here. And now the user profile URL will be the same widget dot current user dot profile URL. That's it. Now the creator UID will be same widget dot current user dot UID, and lastly, not lastly, but the post ID will come from the widget dot comment dot post ID, because the on which comment we are replying, that has the post ID of that specific post on which that comment is posted or created. So we got the post ID from the comment entity, and the comment ID will be same from widget dot comment ID, and the description will be taken from the reply description controller, which we are going to create in a while. So this form container widget, its controller will be this controller, and let's go and create this controller also. In here we will create text editing controller. Its name will be reply description controller, and initialize it. That's it. Put semicolon here, and that was it. Now from the reply description controller, access the text from here, and when this method completes, in the then method we will call our clear method, or let's directly set the state, and the reply description controller will become clear. And after this we will set the state and will false the variable is user replying. So this method will become false if it was open. So that was it. The create reply method will be called on this text. So we will wrap this with the widget, and this will be a simple gesture detector which gives us the methods of on tap, on long press, on double tap, and we will go for the on tap and will call this method create reply like this. Now we know that when we click this, the context do not have the reply qubit, so this will throw the error that context do not have this qubit. So we know that for accessing the qubit in the context of the single comment widget, we have to provide it. In the comment main widget, we will wrap this single comment widget with the block provider, not builder, but the block provider, and this provider will be from di.sl, and this sl will be the reply qubit, and import this, and also import the Flutter block for this block provider. It's not importing, so let's import it manually, and we will also import the injection container. So first let's import the Flutter block, and then import the injection container as di. So that was it. We have imported the block provider, not the provider but the block Flutter block, and also import the injection container as di, and we access the reply qubit class from here and simply provide it using the block provider. So now in the context of single comment widget, we got the reply qubit, and now we are able to use it. So now how to start this application, as we have called this create reply method in here. So how to start it and try it out if it's working or not. So open up the emulator and close this keyboard, go to the comment page and click this reply and try to type something in here, and this will be, let's say, okay, and click this post, and this disappears. It means something is happened. Check the console and something happens. Go to the Cloud Firestore and restart this. After restarting, go to the comment, and inside the comment we got this reply. You can see, as I said, in the specific document of the post, inside this we got the comment collection, and inside the comment collection we got the specific document of the comment, and inside this specific document we got the replies for this comment. So there will be the replies of that comment. So we got the comment ID and the time, current time, the creator UID, and the description is okay as we have typed in the field, and the likes are empty. We got the post ID, reply ID, user profile URL, and the user name Steve. So that's how this horizontal database or the Firestore or the Firebase is. So you can see again in the post collection, in the specific document ID of the post, we got the comments of that particular post. So there will be all the comments of that post, and inside this we got the specific document, and inside this we got the data of that comment, and inside this document we got the replies for this specific document of comment. So there will be all the replies documents of that specific comment, and we got these IDs in here. Now after creating it, now it's time to get this comment. So to get this comment, we have to call this method when we click this view reply, and we also have to create the single reply widget as we have for the single comment widget. So let's create this single reply widget directly in this widgets of that comment, and its name will be single reply widget, and this will be same as the single comment widget. So in the single comment widget, we will go in here and simply we will copy this inkwell and go to the again single reply widget. This will be stateful widget. Its name will be single reply widget. And now let's import the Flutter material dart and simply paste that content or data we have copied from the single comment widget. So now open this, and we know we are going to have the container, and this will be only from left and top 10. So this will be like this, the container, and clip rect. Let's import the profile widget and let's remove this from here and import the package of const, and this data will be the same. So let's remove this from here for now and let's type simple dummy username, and also remove this condition check for like, and this will be simple icon which is outlined, and also remove this from here. The color will be simple gray color for now. We will set it in a while, and also remove this gesture detector from here for a while. And now this description will be, let's also do this for description, some description. Let's comment this text for now and copy this description or paste it right here, and this will be time, and this data will not be in the reply. So we will remove this row from here and also this gesture detector and these methods from here. So let's remove all this content from here. This will be only just like this, and there is some error in the onLong. Press click listener. So we are going to have only that data like the user profile URL, and in the expanded widget there will be a column. The username will be in here, the like icon in front of this because we are doing it the space between, and right after this we got some description and the time will be like this. So first of all let's comment this also to check this method in here. So let's copy it and the single comment widget right after this we replies in here. We will call this method like this and simply import this. So press Ctrl S to hot reload and open up the emulator. So our reply will be something like this when this shows up. So now let's get the data in here. So we will wrap this reply widget with the block builder and format the code. Now this subject will be, select this or Alt Z to select the corresponding subject like this, and this block builder will be reply. This reply block will be reply qubit and its stat name will be reply stat, and here we will check if the reply stat is reply loaded. So what we will do, we will return this single reply widget. In the else condition we will simply return the center child circular progress indicator, and that's it. And now we will cut this, and this is going to return the list view dot builder context and index, and will return this widget and the item count. First of all let's create a variable here, final replies equal to reply stat dot replies, and then the item count of that list view will be accessed from replies dot length. That's it. And in the single reply widget, this is going to accept the final reply entity reply and will pass the reply in the constructor, and this reply will do something like this. The image URL will comes from the widget dot reply dot user profile URL, and the username will also be the widget dot reply dot user profile URL, and for the description it will be the same, widget dot reply dot the description, and the time will be the same like we have for the single comment. Where is the time? Here. We will copy this. So we have copied the time from the single comment widget and paste it simply right here. Imported that format from the Intel package, and this will be widget.reply.create at like when the reply is created, and now it's formatted from. That's it. In the single comment widget, there is an error. It is because reply will comes from replies on index. So we got the single entity as the single reply widget is accepting. So now we will how to start the application to reset the state and destroy all the persistent data in the state. So we will see the changes in our application. Now open up the emulator, go to the comment page, and you can see the circular progress indicator in here. This is because we have not yet called the method of the getReply, which we have in here. In the remote data source implementation, this readReply or getReply method, as we have not called the method in the reply qubit, this getReplies method. So we have to call this method also in the single comment widget. So now when this view reply is clicked, we will wrap this with the widget gesture detector. When this taps, we will call the method of block provider dot of context and the reply qubit and then dot get replies, and now we are going to pass the IDs. So this will be reply entity, and we will pass the post ID coming from widget dot comment dot post ID, because in that specific comment document we have the post ID as we have gotten this comment on that specific post ID. So we have this post ID and the comment ID will be widget dot comment ID on which ID this comment is created. So we got these two IDs, and on these two IDs we will be able to get this reply, as these are the only requirements to get the replies of that specific comment. Let me show you in the remote data source implementation. In the read replies, we go first for the post, and in the specific post we go to the comments collection, and in the specific comment we got the replies in here. So that's it. Now let's again come to the single reply widget, not in here but in the single comment widget, and that was the only requirement in here. Now again, how to start the application. So now when we click this, the circular progress indicator disappears, and when we open the run command, it is saying that field assertion has size. Let's go at the top, and here it is saying that the vertical viewport has given unbounded height. So it's the render flow exception we have to do in the list view builder. The shrink wrap will be true, and the physics will be scroll physics. That's it. Now again, how to start the application so it will start working. Now that was it. Open the emulator, go to this comment, and this is loading. So when we click this view, it got the reply, but instead of the description or the username, we got the user profile URL link. So I think we mistaken the single reply widget. So in the username we have to do the user name in here, not the user profile URL in the text. So that was it. Now hold Ctrl S to hot reload, open up the emulator, and it's fixed. So that's the reply. That's it. Now when we go back and come again here, there is the circular progress indicator. So to overcome this circular progress indicator in the single comment main widget, here we have to do, we will copy this method, and when this initStat calls, we have to call this method also. So that was it. Now again, how to start the application, and open up the emulator, go to this, and here we got the reply with this comment. So now let's post another comment, and this will be good, and post it, and we got the comment good here, but the replies are the same for both and has gotten here. So now to overcome this, here we have to do one more thing. This will be in the loaded state. So on that replies, we have to do where query. If the element dot comment id is equal to widget dot comment id and convert it to list, so it will be fixed like this. Now again, that was it. How to start the application to see the changes in here. Again, open up the emulator, close this keyboard, go to the comment page, and here you can see we got the reply only for this, but when you click this, there will be nothing will happens. So when there is no reply in here and we call this method, we will check if or directly widget dot comment dot total replies were equal to 0. So we will simply show a toast in here, and this will be no replies. Otherwise we will get this replies. Now again, how to start the application, and when this restarts, close this keyboard, go to again in here and click this, it says no replies. And again, when we reply this comment, this will be okay with SSS. When you post this, we got the reply in here. Now that was it. It's time to delete the replies from here, or then we will go for the like and the update. So first we have to delete them. So to delete it in the single reply widget, we have to wrap, or it's already done. We will uncomment this, and there will be final void callback, not action but only the callback. This will be on the same name. Copy it and paste it right here and pass it in the constructor. So that's it. In the single comment main widget, in here what we will do, after this reply on long press listener, open the body. Now we will open up a bottom model sheet in here. So the same will be for the reply as we have done for the comment main widget. We will copy this bottom model sheet from here and go to the single comment main widget and paste it right after this, and open this. This is going to accept the reply entity reply, and this will be more options, and comment this out for now, and also this navigation, and change their names to delete reply and also update reply. So that was it. Now copy this name and in here paste it and pass the context, and the reply will be replies on index, and there is an error just because their name is different. So copy this and paste it on this. So that was it. Now how to start the application, Now open up the emulator, go to in the comment and hold this. We got the delete reply and the update reply. Now when this delete reply is clicked, so we will simply delete this. So for that we have to call the method or create the method first in here. Right after this bottom model sheet, there will be a method of delete reply and the block provider dot of context, and its type will be of reply qubit, and then simply delete reply, and the reply is going to accept the reply entity. And we know that we need two IDs of the post ID will come from widget.comment.post ID, and the comment ID will also come from widget.comment.comment ID. And also we need the post, or we need the reply ID, so this will be accessed from the only from here. This will be required reply ID, and this its type will be string, and this reply ID will access from, for now, this reply ID parameter. And let's copy this delete reply and paste it in here, not in here but in the bottom model sheet here. Remove this delete comment from here and paste it right here, and the reply ID will come from the reply ID. Or why we are accessing this from here, we can pass the reply entity and access the data from this reply entity like this, and copy this and paste it right here and pass only the reply entity reply. So that's it. Now again it's time to hard restart the application to test this reply. Now after this, open up the emulator, wait for restarts, and then go for this, hold this and delete. So it's deleted. Also try to delete this and it's deleted. Now the last thing, not last but after this, it's the one is also remaining, like to update it. Now let's post another comment, not the comment but reply, and say sum this and post it, and this reply has gotten in here. Now we are going to like it. So for like in the single reply, we have to create another void callback, and this will be on like click listener, and pass it in the single reply widget. And now we know that we will wrap this single icon outline with the widget gesture detector on tab. Simply call widget dot on like click listener, and now in the single comment main widget where we are loading the reply here. Right after this, on long press click listener, we will do on like click listener and simply call like reply, and then this is going to accept the reply as this reply entity on specific index. So we'll copy the like reply and paste it in here, and open body, copy this from here, paste it right here, and this method will be like reply, and this will be reply entity. Open this and also copy this parameter from here, pass it in here, and also let's copy these from here and pass it in here, and let's check the remote data source implementation to see if these are the only requirements. We need the post ID from the reply entity and the comment ID and also the reply ID. So that's it. in the single comment main widget. So here that was it. Now there is an error in the like reply. This name is reply entity. Or let's make this reply to make it more clear. Copy this and here also make it the reply and change in here for the both reply and reply, and also access this from the only reply. It's fixed now. Now again, how to start the application to also test this like reply. But we forgot one thing. In the single reply widget, we have to show something in order when we click this or when the like click listener is called. So for that, we know that we have to do one thing in the single comment, not in the single but the comment main widget. Here we have to copy one method, or it's not in here, maybe it's in the single comment main widget. So let's copy this from here, the current UID, and paste it in the single reply widget right here. And its curly brace is missing, put it in here, and also import this use case, and lastly import the injection container as di. Now also pass the super dot in its state, so the warning will be removed or fixed. Now on the base of this current UID, what we will do in here, we will check, or we also can copy the single check from the single comment widget to save our time. We will copy this whole just detector from here because everything is the same. We will paste this in the on that just detector and only change widget dot reply likes, and also this everything will remain the same. Again, how to start the application to see the changes. Now again, open up the emulator, go to in here, we got the reply, click this, we can like the reply. So now only the remaining is to update the reply. So here I am not doing it just because that will be the task for you to complete it, as we have done for the single comment main, not main but the comment widget. We have created a new page like edit comment page. You have to create the page like this and simply provide the reply qubit and create the edit reply main widget and paste all the same code from here, copy it from this edit comment main widget and paste it in that page. Everything will remain the same, only the method will be different, and pass the IDs in here. The description will come from the same, this description controller, and simply when the method completes, simply pop it, and also create this is reply updating to show some circular progress indicator on base of that, and there will be in the app bar simply edit reply. So this is really simple task to create a page and create its main page main widget and simply implement this. And while navigating to that page from the single comment widget, you have to do one thing, is to create the constant for that page in the page const. In here you have to create a constant like this, or let me create it for you. That will be edit reply, or let's say update reply page. So you have to use this update reply page constant, and in the onGenerate route you have to copy this and simply paste it right after this. Only change the update comment page to reply update reply page, and on the route builder simply pass the edit reply page and pass the arguments of the reply entity, and simply in the edit reply page do the same as we have for the edit comment page or edit comment main widget. So that will be the task for you. You have to complete this task, and that's really simple. We are done with so many features of our Instagram app. We deal with the post feature, we also deal with the comments, and finally we deal with the reply. And on top of that, we create the users in our Instagram app. And now one of the most interesting thing or feature in many famous apps is searching for something in the app. Every app has its own strategy of searching, but in our Instagram app, we will search for our users in the search tab. And here in the search tab, we will load all the posts of the users. So you can also check the post from here by clicking it, and this will take you to the single detail post page. For now, it's not working, but will start working when the code goes through it. And we are also going to implement the feature that if we click here on the user profile, this will navigate us to the user profile page from where we can follow or unfollow the users. And this follow unfollow features will be implemented in the next video. And we are also going to get all the posts of the specific user, like now when I am the authenticated user, so I will load all my posts in here. And also if we go to this user profile page, there will be all the posts of that specific user. So that's what we are going to do in this video. But before going and doing all this stuff in this app, first let's fix some small bugs of the app. So if you notice in the app, that's the post of some other user whose name is AAA, and I am able to delete or update his post, but it's not the way to do this. I will not be allowed to interact with some other user post or comments or replies. So to fix this, we have to go to the single postcard widget. The single postcard widget is located in the home directory. We have the single postcard widget. We will go to this, and here, go at the top, not in here, but we are already on the top. We have this row of user profile URL and username, and also we have these 3 dots. So we will only show these 3 dots whenever the current user is the owner of this post. So now I am not owner of this post, and these 3 dots are still showing, and I can interact with this just like this. So I will show this only when there is the user who is the owner of that post. So on base of that, I will check the condition in here. I will set simply that if widget dot post dot creator UID was equal to the current user ID. So we will do widget dot, not widget, but we have already the current UID. We are checking here if the post creator UID, who is the owner of this post, if that UID was equal to the current UID who is authenticated user, so only we will display or show this gesture detector or these 3 dots to interact with this post. Otherwise we will show nothing. This will be a simple container with the width of 0, and also the height will be 0. So now when I press Ctrl S and how to load the application, open this up, and the 3 dots has gone. You can see now that's not my post. I cannot interact with this post. So now the scenario is the same for the comment and the reply. So what I will do, these are my comments and replies, so it's a BBS, I can interact with these. But let's sign up another user and try these replies and comments on that user to delete or update it. So we will go back and go to the profile page, click this, log out, go to the sign up page, select the photo for the user, and let's select this brain, and let's go for the John Doe, and his ID will be john@gmail.com, and the password will be from 1 to 6 because that's easy to remember for putting the dummy password. And his bio will be Android developer, and click the sign up to sign up that user. So it's loading, and the user is authenticated to the application. Now go to the profile page, and we got the user profile and the username, the bio. So now go to the home page and go to the comments page, and you can see when I click this, it still appears to delete or update the comment of that Steve. So it will not be like this. So we will again check the condition also in the single comment widget and also in the single reply widget. So we will go for the first single comment widget. And where is that on long press located? Here. So here we will do we have the current UID? Yes, there it is. So we will check the condition in here. We will do if widget dot the comment dot creator UID, who is the owner of that comment, that ID was equal to current UID only, then we will call the widget on long press listener. Otherwise this will be null. As simple as that. So also copy this and go for single reply widget. Here paste it in here and only change this widget dot comment to widget dot reply. As simple as that. Now again Ctrl S to hot reload and open up your emulator. Now I am the other user. When I hold or long press this, nothing will happen. You can see nothing is happening even I am holding or long pressing this comment or reply. So when I go back and go to the profile page and sign out this user. Now let's authenticate our Steve. That was Steve. So steve12@gmail.com, and we have the password of from 1 to 6 because we remember that sign in to the application. We got the sign in user of Steve Wozniak and he is Android dev. And go to the comment page. Now when I hold or long press this, you can see now this appears to update or delete the comment or the reply. Now the condition is true for the single comment widget, like the creator UID is equal to the current UID. So now I am able to long press this, and you have seen in the previous authenticated user, that was the John Doe, I was unable to long press this to interact with this comment of that user. So that's good. We have fixed these bugs. And now if you notice one more bug in here, go to the comment page, and when I click this view replies, it's saying no replies still even if there is reply. That is because here in the single comment widget we are doing on that view replies, we are checking if the replies were 0, so we will do no replies. We will show the toast no replies, otherwise call the qubit. But so far we are not interacting with these total replies. Like when we create a comment, we are not updating these total replies. So now if you look at in the remote data source implementation, we have this create comment and we have these total replies of that comment. So now when the reply is created, we have to increment the total replies of the comment. So we have to go for the create reply. There it is. When this reply is created, we have to do one thing, that will be dot then open the body, and the scenario will be the same as we are doing for the comment there. For the creating comment, we will copy this from here and go for the create reply. Here we will paste it, and we are not going to update the total comments on the create reply, but we will access to the post on the reply dot post id, and then again the other collection, that will be the collection firebase const dot comment. We got the comment collection on the document reply dot comment id. So we got the specific comment on which we are replying. So we will change this name to the comment collection just because we are updating the comment collection. We get this, and in the value we are checking this value is simply a document snapshot. We are checking if the document snapshot exists. So we will simply update the total replies of that comment by 1, or we will increment it by 1, and the scenario will be the same when we delete the reply. So let's copy this also and go for the delete reply. When the reply is deleted, so in the then method we will paste this and simply decrement the reply total replies by 1. So that's it. Now what we have done in here, when the reply is created, so we will increment the total replies of the comment by 1, and when it is deleted, so we will decrement it by 1. So now again, how to start the application to save the changes. So now open up the emulator and go to in here, we have this reply. So when we delete this, so the method will be called and this will be decremented by 1 and it will become to -1 or the negative value. So first we have to delete this reply from the Firestore. We go to the post, we go to the comment, we go to this comment. In this we got this reply, so we will delete this reply document from here. So that's it. Now let's open this and try to reply this comment or this reply. So we will do bad, let's say, and post this, and you can see the total replies are incremented by 1. Now when we click this view replies, so nothing will happen, and this post has no replies. When you click this, now it is saying no replies. So we also have fixed this bug. And next we have to do one more thing, is when we create the post, we also want to increment this total post of the user. So what we will do in the Android Studio, in here, when the post is created, so we will Ctrl F to search for the post or the create post. So in the set method we will do then and paste this, and we are going to have now the user collection on the firebase users, because we are going to access the users on the post dot creator UID. We will update this. So let's do it like this and change this name, and this value is document snapshot. So we got the user document on the creator UID. We will update the user profile and also change this. So we have to change to the user collection, not the post. So we got the user on the creator UID, means the owner of that post who is creating the post. So after the post is created, we will do to update the total posts of that user. So if you look at in the browser, go for the users, and in the specific user we have this total post. So we are simply updating this field of the user. So when the post is created, on the creator UID who is creating the post, on that ID we will update the user, and the total post will be incremented by 1. Whenever a user comes and upload a post, so his total post which we have in here, the post will be incremented by 1, and anytime if user delete the post, we will do its opposite, to delete or to decrement the total post by 1. And here in the then method we will do just like this and simply decrement this. Ctrl S to hot reload and try to upload one post in here. We are going to select this and we will say some photography, and let's say this, and upload this post, and it will take a while and it's uploaded in the home page. So we got this post right here, and when we go to the profile page, you can see the posts are 1 and this is incremented by 1. So now you can see this is not my post, so there is not the 3 dots to interact with this post, and now this is my post, so I can interact with this. So when I delete this post and when I go to the user profile, and the posts are 0. So that's how this works. So that was it. Now go to the search page. It is located in here. So what we are going to do in here to load all the posts of the users. So in here, in this grid view, first we will wrap this grid view with the block builder and format the code and select this subject. Hold Alt J to select the corresponding one, and this will be post, and change this to post qubit and import this post qubit, and also import the block Flutter block and change the stat name to post stat, and inside this, in the body, check if the post stat is post loaded. So return this grid view, and otherwise if it was not true, simply return center child circular progress indicator. And now in the body of this loaded, we will do final posts equal to post stat dot posts, and now in the item count we will do posts dot length, and in the container, in the return widget of the grid view, here we will return nothing but the child of profile widget, and in the image URL we will pass the posts on index dot post image URL. So when we hot restart the application, this will not work just because we are using the post qubit and we have not provided yet. So we will create the main widget for the search main widget, and then we will transfer all the data of this page to the search main widget and simply change its name to search main widget. And now in the search page, delete everything, make it stateless widget. This will be search page, and also import the Flutter material dot and simply return the search main widget and import this. And after this, wrap the search main widget with the block provider and also import these both. Import first the injection container just because we are going to provide it using this as DI, and import the Flutter block. Remove the subject block from here, use a DI service locator and simply use the post qubit to provide it. Copy it from here and also pass it as a type of the block provider. So now we have the context of post qubit in the search main widget. So now we will be able to load this post. So we will hot restart the application to see the changes. Now open up the emulator and go to the search page, and this is showing us the circular progress indicator. That's because we have to call the method of get the post. So in the init stat of search main widget, what we will do in here, we will do block provider dot of context, as we have the post qubit in the context. So we will use the post qubit dot get post, and it required the post entity and no parameters are required in here. So we'll do empty just like this. Now again, how to start the application to see the changes. So after some time, open up your emulator and go to the search page, and you can see we got the single post image in here, which is not clickable for now, and we are going to do it in a while. So first of all, let's wrap this container with the widget. That will be our widget of gesture detector, and when this taps, so we will send user to the detailed post detail page. So on tap and open the body. Here we will use navigator to go to the next page, and that will be our post detail page. So we don't have the post detail page yet, so let's create it. Close this comment tab from here and also this widget. So in the post we will create the post detail page, and here we will also load the single post on the unique ID on which we have navigated to the post detail page. So there will be the need of single post qubit. So in the post detail page there will be a simple stateless widget post detail page, and also import the Flutter material, and in the container this is going to return the post detail main widget, and we have not created yet, so let's create it in the widgets. We are going to have the post detail main widget. In this we are going to have a stateless widget for now, post detail main widget, and also import this. In the post detail page let's also import this widget and provide block provider, and the same import injection container as di, and also import the block provider, and simply do di a service locator and provide the get single post qubit, just because we are going to use it in a while to load the single post, and also pass it as a type in here. So we got the single post qubit in the context. So in the single post detail main widget, what we are going to do, so we need the structure of the single post which we have in the home page in here. So in the single post card widget we will copy this padding from here and go to the single main widget, single or post detail main widget, and paste this on the container. So there are some errors. We need the profile widget, we have to import the constants, and then we have to wrap this column with the, or here we have to wrap this with the widget that will be our scaffold, and scaffold does not have any child but the body. And now we are going to wrap this padding with the block builder and format the code, and these subjects will be get single post, and the state will be the same, only this will be qubit. And now let's import this qubit and also the block provider, and change the state name to get single post or state. Here we will check if the get single post is get single post loaded, so we will simply return our padding widget. Otherwise, in the else condition, not in the else but directly, we will return the center child circular progress indicator, and in the loaded state we will do final single post equals to get single post state dot post. So we got the single post. Now using the single post we will get the data like this, but we will not get the data on the widget, so that will be like this, and replace this widget dot post on the single post. And for this condition we have to do like this, and the current UID we will use the DISL to load the current user ID, and the bottom model sheet, okay, let's only pass here the single post, and also the like post set state. For set state we have to convert the stateless to stateful widget, and also is like animating is not in here. Also import the like widget from here, and the like post method is not in here, so also replace this with the single post. And here we also need this to go to the comment page from the single, and also import the Flutter icons, and also the total likes will comes from the single post, and also this will be single post, and here the total comments will also come from that single post. For that format, import the intel package, and this time will also come from single post, and here the id will also be from the single post. So now also import the app entity from here, and also the current id will come from in the single post card widget. We will copy this init stat with this id, and also this is like animating because there is the need of it, so we will go to the post detail page, and simply on top of this in here we will paste this right here, and also import the use case in here, and finally import the injection container as di. And now the only 4 errors are remaining, that is like the post, and also we have to change this with the single post. So now only 3 errors are remaining, that is like the post, so we have to copy the single post card widget. We have to do to copy these 2 methods from here and paste them in here, and also import this post qubit, and also this. So now there is the need of post id. So on the post id we will get this post, so this post id will be like this. So from the constructor we will accept this post id while navigating to this final string post id and pass it in the constructor, and while navigating to this post detail main widget or the post page, from the search page we have all the posts in here. So while going to the post detail page we will do navigator dot push named, and this will be context page const dot post detail page, and its arguments will be posts on index dot post id, and that's it. Now we have to create this in the page const, so this will be just like this, and in the injection, or not in the injection but the on generate route, we will copy some route from here which will be this comment page and paste it in here, and here we will check, first change this to page to post detail page, and this will be if the arguments was string, simply go to the post detail page. Now import this post detail, and their post id will be the arguments. So the post detail page don't have the post id, so we will go and pass the final string post id and pass it in the constructor, and this also require the post id, pass it in here. So that was it. In the on generate route it's fixed. Now in the post detail widget we will use this post id, embed it from there. So the post id will be widget dot directly the post id to delete or like the post. And now one remaining thing is from the single post card widget, we will copy this open bottom model sheet, and the post detail main widget we will paste it in here. So now we are done with our post detail main widget. So that was it. Now again, how to start the application. We got all the data in place to see the changes in the app. So go to the search and click this, and this is saying the white screen and the circular progress indicator. That's because we know that we have not called the get method. So first of all, let me explain what we have done in here. While navigating from the search main widget to the post detail page, in the post detail page, we simply return the post detail main widget and provide the get single user qubit, get single post qubit, just because we need the single post in place in the post detail page. And there is also the need of the post ID to load this post, so we pass this also in here, and we got this post ID from the search main widget while navigating to the post. So on the specific post index on which we are navigating to that post, so we got that post ID in the arguments, and simply we are using it in here. And we got also this ID in the post detail main widget, and we do our work in here, and here we are simply loading the single post, and we are accessing the data from here, from this, and we simply copy the is like animating and all of these methods from the already implemented page, which is single post card widget. And here if you look at, we are using the post qubit, but we have not provided yet, so this will cause problems when these methods are called. It will say the context do not have these, so we also have to provide while navigating to this. So in the post detail page, we will make this block provider to multi-block provider, and simply copy this and paste it right here, and simply change this to post qubit, and also pass it as a type of the block provider. So that was it. Now we have the post qubit also in the context, and one thing for which we have come in here in the init stat, we will do block provider dot of context and get single post qubit. We will call the get single post, and the ID we will pass widget dot post ID. That's it. Now one thing in here we have to do is to change the color of the scaffold. Background color will be background color, which is already in the constant. So now again, how to start the application to see the changes. Now again, open up the emulator, go to the search page, and when I click this, so I am here in the single post page. When I can like it, I can unlike it, I can like this, and I can unlike on that. I can go to the comment page also from here. But one more thing here we can also go for the comment on this, so you can see everything works the same as we had for the single post card widget. But one thing in here is we can't go back, so for that we have to have the app bar, and the app bar title will be simple text, which will be post detail, and then the background color will also be the same, background color. Now Ctrl S to hot reload, open this, and we got this back button and the post detail and the post in place. So go back, and that was it. You can see we can navigate to the post. So let's upload one more post in here. Let's say this and loneliness, and upload this. It will take a while, and this is uploaded. We got this in our home page, and in the search page we also got this. So when we click this, we navigate to this detail page, and you can see this is my post, so I am able to interact with this. So that was it. Go to the comment. There are no comments right now, and I can like it, I can unlike it. So that was it for the post detail page. And now one more thing is here we have to do to go to the single user profile page. For that we have to create another profile page. In the profiles we have to create the single user profile page, and we will copy all the data from the profile page and paste it in here, and everything will be the same, only this will be single user profile page. And also change the name of this constructor, and this is going to accept the string, and this will be other user ID. Means we are navigating to the other user profile page, so we need the other user ID. And also change this in the parameter. Everything or every error will be fixed in a while. So from here we will navigate to the single user profile page. That will be the place of single user or single postcard widget, and open this padding, and we have this username and this user profile URL. So we have to navigate to the single user profile page when we click this row. So we will wrap this row with the widget of gesture detector, and when this on taps and open the body, we will do navigator dot push named, and the page route page const will be single user profile page. And that's it. We are going to add this constant in the page const in a while. And the arguments, we need the other user ID, means the owner of the post ID, like who created the post, we need that person's ID. So the arguments will be simply widget dot post dot creator UID, and that can also be our ID in case. So we will copy this and go to the page const and duplicate this, create this constant, and we are done with this. Now we have errors in this single profile page, so we know that what we have to do in here. In the scaffold, we will wrap this with the block builder. That will be get single user, and that will be our qubit. So we got the get single user and also the ID, so we will get this single user on the ID when we call this method. So in the stat, we will change the name of the stat will be user stat. Inside we will check if the user stat is get single user loaded. So what we will do, simply return our scaffold, and otherwise return the center child circular progress indicator. That's it. Now open this scaffold and select or get the single user. So that will be single user equal to user stat dot user, and do like this. Copy this and replace this current user with the single user. In order to not do that for all, Ctrl Z to undo, hold Alt and J to select all the current user in this page, and simply now replace this with the single user. So that was it. The only one error is remaining, and that is in the bottom model sheet. So bottom model sheet will going to accept first make this name parameter build context will be build only the context, and this will be required, and this is going to accept the user entity current user and also will be required. So copy this and paste it on that single user. So this will be fixed, and now where this bottom model sheet is called, we have to access the context will be the context, and the current user will be the single user we have gotten from the qubit. So now we will make this stat list to stateful, and here in the init stat we will call block provider dot of context on the get single user qubit. We will call the method of get single user. The UID will be widget dot other user ID or the post owner ID, on which post we are going to the single user profile page. So that will be it. and we know that we don't have these qubits in the context, so for that we have to create the main for this single user profile main widget, and that's it. Copy the content from here and paste it right here and change its name to single user profile main widget. Copy its name and in the single user profile page delete everything. Stateless widget, this will be single user profile page, and simply import the material and simply paste the single user profile main widget, and this requires the other user ID. This will be our other user ID. Final, this will going to accept the string other user ID, pass it in the constructor, and now import this like this. And now in the onGenerate route we have to create, copy this and paste it right here, change the const to single user profile, and this is going to return single user profile page, and import this. This requires the other UID and the arguments. So we are done with this. Now in the single postcard widget we have done everything and use this IT not IT but the ID in the single user profile main widget. So now again, how to start the application to see the changes. But one thing we left in the single user profile, we have to provide the block provider, and this will be get single user qubit, and also this will be di from SL the get single user qubit. So we'll import the injection container as di and also import the block provider and get single user qubit. Now again, how to start the application to see the changes. Now open up the emulator, and when we click this we go to the user profile, and that's it. We got his bio, his name, his username, his name, and his profile URL. So that was it. In some case, when he was creating the post, he didn't get the user profile URL, but there is the profile URL, you can see in here. Now we want to load the data on the user profile. In here there will be all the posts of the user. So what we will do in the profile page of the user, where we have this grid, where is that grid? There. So on that grid we will load the post qubit. So this will be block builder, and format the code. This will be select the subject, hold Alt J to select the corresponding. This will be post and qubit. This will be post state, and also import this post qubit, and here we will check if the post state is post loaded. So we will simply return this grid in here, and otherwise simply return the center child circular progress indicator. And in here we have to access final post equal to post state dot post. So we got all the posts, and here we will check where in all that post where the single post dot post user ID, not username but UI creator UID was equal to the current user dot UID. So on that base we have to load the post, so convert it to list, and this post access the length of it, and in the container remove this color, and in the child simply do profile widget, and in the image URL pass the posts on index.post image URL. So we know that we don't have the post qubit in the context, so for that we have to create the profile main widget and copy this profile page data and paste it in here. So change its name to profile main widget, and in the profile page delete everything, stateless widget, that will be profile page, and material import, and final this is going to accept the user entity as the current user and pass it in the constructor, and simply return the profile main widget, import this accept the current user, pass the current user in here, and also provide the block provider, and also import the injection container as di, and also this will be di.sl post qubit, and also import the Flutter block. So we got the post qubit in the context of profile page. So now we are able to use this post qubit, so there will be all the posts of that specific user or my posts in my profile page. So that was it. We have to do here one more thing to wrap this container with the widget gesture detector, and on tap we will call the same method as we have for the search main widget. To go to the post detail page, we will go and do it just like this. So that will be it. And now how to start the application to see the changes. Now open up the emulator and go to the profile page, and there is circular progress indicator just because we forgot to call the get method. So we will make the stateful widget, and here this will give us the init stat, and in the init stat we will do block provider dot of context, and in the context we will do post qubit, and simply call the get all post, and simply pass the post entity which requires no arguments. And again, how to start the application. Open up the emulator, and we got my post in here, which we have in here. So you can see my posts are in here. When I upload one more post, let's say this, and with some this text, upload this, it's uploading, it will take a while. When this uploads, you can see it comes here and also in my profile. So I can go to this detail, and that's my post. I can iterate from here, I can like it, I can unlike it. From here I can again go to this comment page, and that's it. These are my posts, there will be all my posts in here. And now one thing is, when I go to the user profile page, I also want the user post in here. So to do that, we have to do the same thing as we had in here. So we will copy this block builder, first close it, copy it, and in the single user profile page, not in here but the main widget, where is that grid? So you will close that grid and paste this profile or the block builder in here. Only import this, so this will be fixed. And there is one more error, that is the current user ID. So we have the current user ID in here? No. So what we have to do, in the single postcard widget, we will copy this from here in the single user profile page and paste it right after this. So we got two init stats, so that's not good. So let's cut this from here and paste it in this init stat, and remove this init stat from here, cut this, paste it on top of that, and import this use case, and simply import the injection container, import injection container, as di, so we are good to go. We got the current user id, and on that uid now we will check where is that error. We will do if the current creator uid was equal to current uid, simply load that user posts. So that was it for that. But do we have the post qubit in the single user profile main widget? Let's check the single user. Now we don't have, so we will make this multi-block provider, and we also have to provide di.sl and the post qubit, and also its type will be post qubit. Now in the single user profile main widget, in its state, as we are calling the block provider in here, we will do block provider dot of context of the post qubit. We will do dot get post entity, and that's it. Now again, how to start the application, and this is reset everything, and again open up the emulator. We got the posts in here, and when I go to the user profile, I got my post in here, but that is not the way I want it. So I don't know why I got this current UID in here. We have to check the condition in here. If the creator UID was equal to widget.post.other UIDs, so it means we don't need the current user ID in here. So that was my mistake. Again, how to start the application, and open up the emulator. So when I go to his profile, and you can see we got only his post in here, so it means we don't need the current UID in here. We need his user ID to load his post in here. So when I click this, so from here I can also go to the single post detail page, and also from the search you can see there are my post and his post, and this is my profile page. And now one last thing is here, we have to search for the users. So to search for the users, in the search main widget, we have to wrap this body with the block builder, that will be user qubit, and this will be user stat. We will check if the user stat is user loaded, mean load all the users, so we will return this. Otherwise we will return the center child circular progress indicator. So that was it. Now open this up. We got the user loaded stat, and now here we will do one thing, that will be this. So what we are doing in here, we create the final variable from the user stat, we access to all the user, we use the query where, and got a single user. We are checking if the user name starts with the search controller text, or if the username in the lowercase start with the search controller text with the lowercase, or again we are checking in here if the username contains the search controller text, and also if the username in lowercase contains the search controller text. Simply that will be the loaded user in that page, and that will be our filter users. And right after this in here, we will check the condition in here. We will do if the search controller is dot text is not empty, so we will return a list view dot builder, and this will be context and index, just because if the search has got the users in here, so we will show the users in the list, and this time the post down the search will not be showing, but the users will be showing. So in here we will return a container for now, let's say, and here we have also do this will be in the else. So in here what we will do, we will return a row children and put semicolon here. Inside this row we are going to have this content in place, So what is this? That's the container. Simply click rect and profile widget of the user and the username in place. So to make this user search controller works, we have to do in the init state if the search controller dot add listener and simply set the stat. So that will be it. Now again, and now that was it. Again, how to start the application to see the changes. Now again, go to the emulator, go to the search, and there is the circular progress indicator. That's because we have to do in the init state, we will call the block provider dot of context and pass the user qubit in here, and also dot get users and pass the user entity just like this. And this is also not going to require any argument, only simply user entity. We don't use it in the get method. So, and also the context now don't have the user qubit. So while navigating to the search main widget, we will make this multi-block provider. This will get di from sl, get the user qubit, and also pass this user qubit as a type of the block provider. So that was it. Again, how to start the application to see the changes. Open up the emulator, go to the search and type some in here. You will say AST and nothing happens. When you go back, we got the post in here. When you check the run, and it says the render flow exception. So we have to do remove this single child scroll view from here, makes this widget expanded, this list view, and also this grid view. Wrap it with the widget and make it expanded. So when this were showing, this will take all the space, and if this were showing, this will take all its space. So that was it. Again, how to start the application. And now when this restarts, go to the search, and here let's search for A, and we got the users in here, but there's the range error just because in the list view, in the item count, we have to pass the filter users length. That's it. And Ctrl S to hot reload, and this will be gone. And now one thing we have to do, when we click this profile, we have to navigate, we want to navigate to their profile page. So now we will wrap this row with the widget just detector, and when this taps on tap, we will do navigator to go to the user profile page. So we have the logic of going to user profile page in the single postcard widget, and we will copy this from here and paste it in the search main widget, and that's it. It requires the creator post the ID as an argument. So that will be the ID of the filter user. So we will do filter users on index the UID. That's it, the filter user ID on which we have clicked. Now again, how to start the application, test this also. Now open up the emulator and go to in here, we have post, we can check the post. So let's search for the post, type A. On the A we have 4 users, so when I click this, I came to the user profile. Go back, I come to this profile, he don't have any post in here, and also in here, and also in here. So I can also search for the John. You can see we have John and John Doe. I go to the John Doe profile, that's his user, and this. So we can also search for user, we can go to the detail post page, and also we can go to the profile page from here, and we can like the post, we can unlike the post, and also in the detail post page we can do the same, like this, unlike this, go to comment, and there are all the comments of that post, and that's it. So what we have done, we have fixed some bugs, we have incremented that, and we can go to the post detail page, you can see, and there we can also perform the same function as we are doing in the home page. And we have implemented this. We got the all post in here. We can go from here also to detail post page, and we can search for user this way, and we can go to their profile page like this, and from here we can also go to their profile page. In the Instagram app, one of the most engaging feature is follow or unfollow someone. I'm calling it engaging because if you look at the scenario, if someone follow us in the Instagram, the first question that sparks in our head is that why did he or she follow me? Does he or she likes me or likes my content that I upload? At least what is that thing that make him or her to follow me, right? That might be some weird question in our head. That's why I'm calling it engaging. It's kind of like on some way they engage us or take our focus towards the platform Instagram, or that can be Twitter, LinkedIn or Facebook. So we are going to implement this feature, but that will be at very basic level. In here, the basics means that the platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and LinkedIn, they are not controlling their data on one single server. They have many shared servers in which they distribute their data and make decisions on that data. So what kind of decision we can take on the data? We can take a lot of different decisions, and one example of that will be, if you imagine the scenario in the Twitter. If we make a tweet in the Twitter and we have some followers also in the Twitter, so if we make a tweet, that tweet will be uploaded in the timeline of our followers, and they will be notified. If there are some active followers, they will comes in and will see our post. If they react on that or comment on that, so that post or tweet will be also uploaded on their followers timeline, and if they come, they will see on their timeline that one of the user you are following has react or comment on that post. So if they comment again on that, so that post will again be show up on their followers. So that's kind of like a chain or social graph they have made, and that required very great system which the platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter or LinkedIn has made, and they done that work in milliseconds, which makes these platforms more available, scalable and makes us engage with these platforms. And for that availability, they use some in-memory database to cache the data in some database and load it as quick as possible for good user experience and also availability. And these in-memory database might be like Redis, SQLite, InfinityDB, Apache Ignite, etc. And in our Instagram app, we will implement only the very basic level of this. We are not going to share any data in somewhere, but we will implement a simple basic scenario or the feature of that follow or unfollow the users. So now let's see what we have done in the previous video. In the previous video, we implement the things. Let's open up the emulator and here make this in center. And what we have done in here, we have loaded our post in the user profile or our user profile, and we can go to the post detail page like this, and this will work here the same, like we can like the post, unlike the post, and can also go to the comments page and can make comment here like okay and post it, and this will work the same. We can like the comment, we can unlike the comment, we can reply like TY, upload, post it, and that's work the same. I can like the reply, unlike the reply, and delete the reply, and also can delete the comment. So this work the same also in the detail post page. And we also load our post in the search page. There will be all the posts of the user, and we can search for the user. Like if I type A, go to his profile, go to his post, like his post, or go to the comments and do something in here. And also in the home page, we also can go to the user profile from here. And now what we are going to do is to implement the feature of follow or unfollow the user at very basic level. But before this, let me tell you one more thing. In the search page, if you look at, we have provided the user qubit, and then we done our work in the search main widget, and we call the user qubit to get the users in here, but it's not necessary to provide the user qubit. That's because if you look at and open up the Flutter inspector, that's the Flutter inspector in the Android Studio, and you can see the widget tree in here. First we have the roots and the my app in here, which is our stateless class, and while launching the app we provide the multi-block provider. In that we provide the auth qubit and the credential qubit, user qubit, and get single user qubit. So we have these 4 qubits already in the context of every class down the tree. So there is no need of providing these qubits like the user qubit as we have provided in the main. So these are all in the widget tree on top. So these are in the context of all the pages down the tree. So in the search page, if we remove this user qubit, and also in the single user profile page, we also have to, or let's remove this single user qubit, and then now test this. So hot restart the application and open up your emulator, and in the search page it works the same. If I click A and this is the same, you can see the users has gotten and the get method works. And also in the single user profile page, if I go to the single user profile, and you can see it's loaded and there is no exception in the terminal that is saying that the context do not have the single user qubit or the user qubit, just because we have provided while the app was starting initially. So we have provided these qubits in the main on the material app, so these will be available on each context in the class down the tree of the widget. So we don't have to provide them, we only have to provide the qubits which are required on the specific page. So that's why we are creating the main widget for each of the page in which we required any other qubit. So that was it for fixing this, and now let's go and implement the feature of the follow or unfollow. So for that there will be only the requirement of creating only one method in the repository. So first we will go to the repository in the domain layer. There will be the need of only one method. So we are going to follow or unfollow the user. So we will clone this update user and will change its name to follow or unfollow user. Or let's remove this or from the middle, and this will be follow unfollow user, and that will be it. And copy this and paste it in the remote data source right after this update user, and then also go to the firebase repository implementation and implement this in here, and select this, make it asynchronous, and arrow function, this will be remote data source dot follow or unfollow user. That's it. Now in the remote data source implementation, what we have to do in here, in the top we will override this missing method, and then it's time to implement it. Make it asynchronous and also delete this unimplemented error from here. So how our follow or unfollow scenario will be, if you look at in the model of the user, we already have created the followers and the following of the in the user model. So if someone follow us, his ID will be stored in the followers, and if we follow someone, his and the person we are following, his ID will be stored in the following, that the users we are following. And then we will load these users we are following and our followers on that IDs in the following followers page, which we are going to create in a while. And in the remote data source implementation, in the follow unfollow user method, what we will do in here, first we need, it's obvious, we need the user collection, and then there will be the requirement of 2 document reference. So let's do it, and this will be clear to you that why there is the need of 2 documents of the users. So let's do the final user collection, and this will be equals to firebase firestore dot collection firebase const dot users, and that's it. Now here there is need of two document reference of that collection. So first one will be final my document reference, like the current user, or we can name it my, so it will be more meaningful. And then we will do await user collection dot document on the user dot uid, it means the current user dot get. So we got my document reference, and there will be another document reference that will be other user document reference. This will be also await, and also let's copy this to make it more quick and save our time. So, and in here the ID will be other UID. If you remember from the video when we were creating the user entity, we have created the other user ID, and now it's time to use it. So using that other UID, we will pass the ID of the other user we are following, and then we will store that other user ID in our following list, and that will be it. Like if I follow him, his ID will be stored in my following list and my ID will be stored in his follower list. So that's how the scenario will be, and that's why we have the other UID, and we will pass it from the other users or the single user profile page, like we have the other user ID in here. So we'll use that ID to follow or unfollow the user. So in the remote at source implementation, we pass this other UID, and this will come from the user entity when these methods implement. So this will become more clear to you that how it works, and I will explain it again, so it will become more clear to you. So we got the user collections, and we got my document reference. We also got the other user document reference. We got my document reference on my ID, which is UID, and we got the other user document reference on the other UID. And next we are going to check if the my document ref dot exist, and also with this other user document reference also exists. So if these both documents were exist and both conditions were true, so what we will do, first we have to access to my list of following and then the list of the other users of the follower, because I am going to update my list of following when I follow the user, and I am going to update the followers list of other users when I follow him. So first here I will do list my following list will be equals to, and this will be come from my document reference dot get the field that will be following. So I got the field following from my document reference on my ID, and then there will be another list of other user followers list, and this will be equal to, this will come from other user document reference dot get the followers. That's it. And now here we will check. First we will do for, let's comment out here my following list. So first operations will be for my following list. So here we will check if my following list contains the user dot other UID. If my following list contains the other UID, so simply do update user collection the document on the user dot UID, like update my document on my ID dot update. This will be a simple field, and that field will be following, and this will be field value, as this is a list, field value dot array remove the user dot other UID from my list if it contains the other UID. In case if it do not contain, in the else condition, this will be its opposite. Copy this and paste it right here, and only change the method to array union. So what we are doing here, we access to the my following list and we get the following from my document reference on that ID. You can see it in here. And also we get the other user followers list on that other user document reference, which document we have gotten on the other user ID. So in here we are checking if my following list contain the other user ID, then remove it from here, and if it do not contain, simply add it. So that was it for my followers list, and next we will do for the other user following list. So now we will check if other user following list contains user.uid. Now we are checking for the other user. If the other user followers list contain my ID, so what we will do to update his followers list on the other UID, update his follower list and remove my UID from here. Otherwise, copy it and paste it right after this in the else condition. Paste this, update his follower list by adding my ID or the current user ID who is following the other user in the follower list of the other user. So let me again explain this method, that what we are doing in here. We accessed the user collection, we got two document reference of my and the other user, and this ID will be come from where I have explained already, and you will see it also when this method come in action and where we go for using it. And now we are checking if my document reference exists and also the other user document reference exists. We got my following list and the other user follower list on the different documents. You can see it in here. And now we are checking if my following list contains the other user ID, simply remove it from my following, and if it do not contain, add it. And in the other user following list, we are checking if the other user forward list contain my ID, update his document on this other user ID, his followers, and remove my ID from here. And then if it do not contain, simply array union to edit. So that was it for the follow or unfollow user. So first time this method calls, it will check if it contains, remove it, otherwise add it, and the scenario will be same for these both conditions. So this will perform our action to add or remove the ID. And now one more thing in here we can do is to increment or decrement the total followers or total following of the users. So we already have this scenario implemented in here, or not in here, but that is in here. So we will copy this scenario from here and we will paste it right after this. So when this update method completes, we will do in the then method. So when this update completes, if it contains the other user ID, when this removes, so we will paste this scenario and change this comment collection to user collection, and the collection will be users, and the document will be, or the document ID will access from the user dot UID, just because we are updating the following. So it means we are updating our following, that when we are following other user, so we will update our document. So that will be on this UID to update our document, and remove this, put semicolon only in here, and we will going to update. We are checking if the value exists, mean the document snapshot exists. So we will select this total replies, and these total replies will not be the total replies in here, but in this case there will be the total following. So if it contains the other user ID, remove it and decrement the total following by 1, and that's it. Now copy this scenario from here and in the then method of the following. This is going to be if it do not contain the ID, simply increment the total following of that user by 1. And also in the other user followers list, we will do the same in the then method. We will do if the other user following list contain our ID, simply on the other user ID update his document and decrement the total followers by 1, and also copy this scenario from here and in the total followers, and in the not in the total followers but in this method here, if it do not contain the ID, while adding the ID in the list of the followers of the other user, we will also increment the followers of that user on that other user ID like this. So what we have done in here, only implement the incrementation or decrementation in here. So that was it for this implementation of that method, and now let's go and create the use case for this. So the use case will be for this inside the user, so that will be follow unfollow user use case, and copy this create use case from here, paste it in here, change its name to follow unfollow use case, and that's it. Change the method name to follow unfollow user and pass the user entity. So that was it. Now in the qubit of the user, we will copy this update method and paste it right here and change its name to follow unfollow user, and also here we will take the instance of follow unfollow user and pass it in the constructor and make it required. So that will be required this dot follow unfollow user, and also import it. So it's not importing, so we will copy its name directly from here and paste it in here. So this is follow unfollow use case, so also change its name in here and also in the constructor. And now it's time to import it. So it will be imported, and now copy it and pass it in this method. So this follow unfollow user method will call this follow unfollow use case to follow or unfollow the user. And now it's time to also inject it in the user qubit. So here we have to do the follow unfollow use case SL call, and also we have to implement or inject the use case of follow unfollow, just because when we call the SL call it will start searching for this, and when it not finds, so it will throw the exception that if you accidentally forget this use case injecting in the injection container. So we will change this name to follow unfollow user follow unfollow use case. So that's it. So in the single user profile main widget, first we have to do in here, right after the bio, here we are going to have a button container widget, and then the text of this button will be follow, and also the color will be blue color, which we have in the constants, and the on tab listener will be for now empty, and there will be some size vertical about 10. Now Ctrl S to hot reload, open up the emulator, and there is some error in here, that is press F2 to look at this error, so we have to put comma in here. Now Ctrl S to hot reload, open up the emulator, and we got this follow button in here. So when we click this, it will follow this user and its color and the text will be changed. So we have to check the conditions on the text and the color. So here we will check if the single user means that the other single user, if the single user dot followers dot contains the current user ID. So what we will do, we will display the unfollow, otherwise this will be displayed as a follow. So if my ID or the current authenticated user ID is already in the followers list of the other user, so we will display unfollow, otherwise follow, and the condition will be same for the color. We will copy this and paste it right here. So if it contains the current user ID, so we will display the secondary color dot with opacity 0.4, otherwise the color will be blue. And now when this taps on this button, we will call the block provider dot of context, and we already have the user qubit in the context. As I show you in the Flutter inspector, you can see we have root app, material block provider, and we have auth qubit, credential user, and get single user. And down the tree in all the classes we have the auth qubit, credential qubit, user qubit, and get single user in the context of these classes. So we don't have to worry about this to provide it. So we will do user qubit, and then we will call the follow unfollow user, and here it requires the user entity. And now it's time to pass the user entity, and now it's time to pass the IDs. So the UID will be the current user ID, and the other UID will be this time the widget dot other user ID. So that's how this will works. So now it's time to hot restart the application to test this. So now open up your emulator and go for this user AAA, and we got this follow button here. For now its color is blue because the condition is not true in here. The followers of the other user do not contain the current UID, that's why its color is blue. And also the followers do not contain the current UID, that's why the text is follow instead of unfollow. So when we click this, so some weird thing happened. You can see first there comes our profile, and then it comes unfollow and one user. So when we go back, and that's it, go to the profile page, and what we got the other user data in the our profile page. Okay, so I got it. So now let me introduce you to the one of the major bug of our implementation, not only in the test apps, but this might happen to you in the real production apps and can become really big headache for you. So now you can see when I hot restart the application, everything will become fixed. When the application restarts and go to this profile page, and I got my profile back. So what had happened just few seconds before, when I followed this user and his followers incremented by 1, and the button comes this, now the followers of this user contain my ID, so that's good. But what happens with this, some weird things happen in here. My profile show up for some seconds and then disappear, and then also in my profile I got authenticated this user profile again, and you can see this is happening again just because I just go to this profile page and I come back. So his user profile is here, and when I again want to start application, then it will fix. So why this is happening? This is because there's the major bug, as I said. And now the reason behind this is we are not following the solid first principle, which is the single responsibility principle. Solid first principle, single responsibility principle said that a single class have only one responsibility. But what we are doing, when the user authenticates to the application for the very first time, we use the get single user qubit. If you look at in the main screen in here, we use the get single user qubit to load the current single user. And then what we are doing in the single user profile page, we are using the same class qubit and we are loading the other user using the same qubit. So we are putting two different responsibilities on one qubit to first load the current user and then load the other user in the single user profile page, which is violating the first principle of the solid principle, that is single responsibility principle. Only one class should have only one responsibility. So to overcome this, by following the single responsibility principle, we will create another qubit that will be get single other user qubit, and then we will use it in here. Every functionality will be the same and will work the same, but only the class will be different to overcome this bug that you can see in my profile. That's his profile, just because as I go in here, so I got in the qubit I got his ID, and when I come back, so in this get single user qubit I got that ID. So when I got again to the my profile page, and that qubit has still that ID, and that's why I got his data in my profile page. And now when I hot start the application, so everything will become the same which was before. So now to overcome this, as I said, first we have to go to the domain layer in the repository. The repository is located here, and what we will do in here, we have this get single user. So we will duplicate this and change its name to get single other user, and this will be other UID to make it more meaningful. And then copy it and paste it in the remote data source and simply paste it right here. And now in the firebase repository implementation, we will implement this method, and that's it. Now remove its body from here and call the remote data source. Before this we have to put the arrow function, and then this will be remote data source dot get single other user. So that's it. Now in the remote data source implementation, go at the top and implement this. First override this and then hold Ctrl F to search for the get single user qubit, copy its data from here, and then go for the same method and paste it right here, and only change this to other UID, and then go and create its use case inside the use cases, firebase use cases. And in the user use case we have to create one more use case, get single other user use case. That's it. And copy this get single user data from this use case, paste it in here, and change its name to get single other user use case, and only change the get single other user, and let's also change this name to other UID. That's it. Now in the presentation layer, first we have to create, in the user we will create another directory in the user directory. So that will be get single other user, and inside this create one more qubit, that will be qubit class. So use the equatable and then get single other user, hit OK and open this up, and now copy this and duplicate it 3 times, and then change its name to first loading, and then to loaded, and then failure. And in the loaded state, what we will do, final user entity other user, and pass it in the constructor. Now make it required, and also pass it here in the list for the value equality. Now in the get single other user qubit, we will take the instance of that use case get single other user use case, and the name will be the same, and also import this and pass it in the constructor. Also make it required this dot get single other user use case, and now in the get single user we will copy this method from here and paste it in here and change its name to get single other user, and the ID will be not the UID but the other UID, and also this will be get single other user loading, and select this failure. This will also be get single other user failure. Also import the .io for this and also change the use case for this, and then the only remaining thing is to change the name of get single other user loaded, and this accept the other user, and from the user get the user first. So we are good to go. We got the other qubit for that, and now it's time to register it in the injection container. So first we have to register factory the get single user qubit. So we have this get single user qubit, so we will clone this or clone this, and then its name will be get single other user qubit, and now import this, and this accept the use case of this, and now it's time to also inject this use case. This will be right after this, so change its name like this, get single other user use case, import it. So that was it for this qubit, and now in the single user profile main widget, instead of using this get single user qubit, we will now use get single other user qubit, and this will also be get single other user stat. So import it, and this stat will also be get single other user loaded. So we'll get the other user, and also get single user qubit will be get single other user, and the method name will also be get single other user, and the ID will also be the other UID. So that was it. Now when we run this will throw the error, the context do not have the single other user qubit. So that's also the user qubit. So let's go to the main.dart and provide this qubit also. Clone this and change its name to get single other user qubit, and also import it. Now it's time to how to start the application, and again time to test this. Now again open up the emulator and go for this AAA, and now unfollow this, and you can see this unfollowed and the user becomes 0 and nothing happens. Let's go back and go to our profile page, and everything works good. So that was it for overcoming this bug, and you must follow the single responsibility principle in all your apps to overcome this error in the future, because this might cause so many big problems and you will be definitely unaware of it if you have not the knowledge of this single responsibility principle. So what we have done, we can follow other users like this, and that's it. We can unfollow it, and when I again follow, go back, and you can see my followers become 1, and then his followers becomes also the 1. So now it's time to load my followers and following in some separate page. So for that we have to do, we will create in the profile page, we will create 2 pages. That will be followers page, and then also the following page. That's it. Stateless widget for now. Following page, and also import the Flutter material dart, and then there will be scaffold, and in the body we are going to have a column children, and then the background color will be the background color, and its app bar will be app bar class, and its title will be following, and then also its background color will be the same background color. That's it. Now we will wrap this column with some padding, and this will be symmetric, horizontal 10 and vertical 10. After this following will be the page where we will load all the followers of the users, or also to see our followers we will navigate to the same page. So like in the profile page, when I click this and go to this will send me to the following page, and by passing my data, my following list, there will be loaded my followers from there. But when I navigate to this from my single user profile main widget or single profile page, like from the when I go to the home page and here now when I navigate to this followers or following page, this will navigate me to the same page, but the only list of followers will be different, and there will be all the followers of that user instead of mine. So now we are going to do this in the following page. So in the following page we want the first final user entity. This will be, let's say, user, just because we will come to this page or on also the current user and also the other user. So we are not going to pass the other user or the current user, but the only user will be more meaningful, just because we are doing it on different perspectives, two different perspectives, and pass it in the constructor. So that was it. Now in the column there will be expanded and child. There will be list view dot builder, and this will be context and index, and then this will going to return our single following user. So we will do row children, and this is going to be like we have in the search page. So we will go to the search main widget, and here we have this data of row. So we will copy this row from here and go to our following page, paste it right here on that previous edit row, and then the profile widget, delete everything from here, but the data will comes in a while. So this will be empty for now, and also the username will be simply dummy username, and put semicolon here, and that's it. So now Ctrl S to hot reload, and also not forget to pass the item count, for now 10. And now let's navigate to this following page to test it out. So in the profile page, in the profile main widget we have in here, so we will navigate to this following page by clicking this column of following. So we will wrap this with the widget, and this will be gesture detector, and when this taps, so we will go to navigator dot push named, and the route name will be page const dot following page, and the arguments will be simply the current user. We will pass it just because we are navigating from profile page, so we will pass the current user. So when we go to the profile page, this will track our following list and show our followings on the list on the IDs we have in our following. So from here we will pass our current user, and while navigating from the single user profile main widget, we will pass the other user. So let's pass widget dot current user. That's it. Now let's go and create the following and followers page in the page constants. So duplicate this 2 times. This will be following page, and this will be followers page. That's it. Now go to the on-generate route, and there will be, let's duplicate this single user profile page 2 times. First let's do it one time like this, and then change this name to following page, and then this is going to return the following page. Import it, and this arguments will be user entity, and this is going to be user and the arguments, and that's it. Now in the profile main widget it fixed. Now put the semicolon here. That was it, I think. Now again how to start the application to test it out. So after the application restarts, open up your emulator and go to the profile page, and we have this followers. When you click this navigate us to this page, so our followers will look something like this. So we can go back from here and there will be our followers. So there will comes their profile and their username. So in the following page, what we will do in here, we got the current user data in here. So there in the item count will be comes from user dot following dot length, like how many followers we have in the following, that will be according to that length. So when I press Ctrl S, so it will become only one, just because we have only one follower right now and there is no data for it. So we are going to load its data also. So we will wrap this row with the stream builder, and the stream builder generic type will be list of user entity, and from the stream we will call the get single user to get the profile for every single user on the ID in the following list. So in here we will import the injection container as di. So we are going to call the get single user, so we will do di.sl and then get single user, not the qubit but the use case. From the use case we will first do dot call and then the UID. So the ID will come from user dot following on index. So that's it. Also put the assertion operator here because that's the nullable. So for each of the user in our following list, we take it on the index here. Now we will check the condition if the snapshot dot has data equal to false. So we will return the circular progress indicator, and also if we will check if the snapshot dot data is empty, so we will return the container, and also put the assertion operator in here. The empty means in case if the user is not in the database. So here after this we will do final single user data equal to snapshot dot data dot first. So we got the single user data on each index in the following list. So now we will access his data like this, like the profile image URL will be single user data dot profile URL, and the username will also be accessed like this, the single user data dot username. And that was it. Now Ctrl S to hot reload and open up your emulator, and you can see I followed this user. So in my following, here comes his name and here comes his image. So that was it for the following now. So now let's implement the following, and this will be really straightforward as we had for the following page. So now let's copy this data from here and paste it in the follower page. So now we will change this page name to followers page, and everything will remain the same except this will be followers, and also we are going to get the item count from the followers, and also this will be comes from the followers, And I think that was it for the changes. Now in the onGenerate route, we will copy this and paste it right here and change its name to followers page, and we will navigate to the followers page and also import this page. Now in the profile main widget, we will copy this navigator push and also wrap this column of followers with the widget. This will be gesture detector, and when this taps, so we will navigate user to the followers page with the argument of the current user entity. And also in the single user profile main widget, we have the followers and following, so we will do the same for them also. So let's wrap this with the widget and gesture detector, and when this taps, we will do the same navigator push, but this time the argument will be the other user. So here we will pass the single user, means the other single user which we have get on the ID. Now copy this and wrap this following column with the widget gesture detector, and when this taps, we will do the same, and only for the followers, this will be followers page, and for the following, this will be following page. And let's also confirm it in the profile main widget. On the followers, we are going to followers, and in the following, we are going to following. That's it. And now how to start the application to see the changes and test our changes we have made in our application. Now open up your emulator and go to your profile page, go to the followers page, and there is nothing for now, and go to the following, and we got this user in here. And let's go to the home page and go to this user profile page, and when you click this followers, you can see I am the follower of one of the follower of this user, and his following is empty. So also done some work for this empty in the followers page. Here we will check the condition. If the user dot followers dot is empty, if the followers is empty, follower list was empty, so what we will show, no followers yet widget, and copy this name. This is going to be a method right here, and implement this, so that will not be widget but the widget. So fix it, and this is going to return center child some text, and this text will be no followers, or let's remove this yet from here. We will only say no followers widget, and put semicolon here, and also some styleless text. This will be style text style colors white, and font size will be 18, font weight will be font weight W600. That was it. Now Ctrl S to hot reload, open your emulator and go to the followers, and nothing happens. That is because if we check, we are checking if user followers is empty, simply show this, otherwise this row, but nothing is happening. That is because we have to cut this from here and check this condition on the list view. Now Ctrl S to hot reload. Okay, we have to copy this with this and paste it with this list view. Now when we Ctrl S and open up and go to the followers, it says not followers, so it was not showing. That's because even the list view builder was not loading, so it's obvious if the list view builder is not building. So how we can or check if the followers is empty or not? So we have to check this, is followers empty on the list view. If it's empty, so it will not even build the list view. and simply return no followers widget. Otherwise this will say, or this will load the followers in the list. So that was it. Now we will go for the following page, and also here we will do if the user dot following dot is empty. So what we will do, we will copy the same widget in the followers page and paste it in here. And now here we will say no following, that's it. And here we will paste if it's empty, we will show this, otherwise the list view. Now Ctrl S to hot reload, open up the emulator, go back. So we have the follower, so we got the follower in here. But in case if we go to the user profile page and in the following, so it says no following in here. So that was it. Now one more thing is here. When we click this user profile, we want to navigate to the single user profile page. So it's really simple. We have to wrap this row with the widget. This will be JS detector, and when this on tabs, we will do open this body, and what we have in the single postcard widget, we will copy this navigator push to go to the single user profile page, and in the followers page, not in the followers but the following, we will paste it in here. And our creator UID will be in here, the ID of that single user which we are getting. So this will be the UID of that user. And also in the case of following, we will do, in the case of followers, we will do the same, and we will wrap this row with the widget JS detector. And when we tap this, so we will send user to the same page, and that's it on the user ID. So Ctrl S to hot reload. Now open this up, go back and come in here. When we click this, we come to this profile page, and you can see everything is the same as we had for that user. So that was it. Now go again in here and check this user. That's it. Now one thing, if you notice in here, when you go to single profile page, we are also seeing this to edit profile and logout. So we also have to fix this in the single user profile main widget. What we will do, in the app bar we have this menu icon. So this menu icon will only be visible if the same condition we have checked for. Or let's do it directly like this. If we will check if the current UID was equal to single user dot UID, so only we will show this, otherwise we will show a simple empty container in here. So when I press Ctrl S in here, open up, so this disappeared just because there's not my profile, so I cannot do anything in here. And also you can notice one more bug in here. When I go to my profile, so there is also the button of follow, so I cannot follow myself. So we will copy this from here, and we will check the condition for also the button of the follow. So here we will do if the current UID was equal to the single user ID, so we will display the container, otherwise the button. Now press Ctrl S, open up the emulator, so this disappeared just because that's my profile. When I go to this user profile, so you can see we got this button here. So now when I unfollow this user and check his followers, it says no followers and no following. And also in case if we check our profile, we have no followers, no following, and we have to post. And that was it for our Instagram app. We have completely successful with all the features of the app. So in the home page, we got all the users. We can like the post, unlike the post, we can interact with the post. This is where to update or delete the post. We can comment the post and reply the post. We can like and comment also on the reply. We can go to the user profile page, we can follow the user and check the followers and following of the user. And again from here we can also go to this post detail page, and also we can upload the post, and we can check our following and followers. And that was all the features of that post. We also authenticate the user, and we fix so many bugs in here. And I hope you learned so many things from this complete course of Instagram app. So this is the last video of this Instagram. So one more thing in here we can do is to just minimize this and go to this menu, and we have this Instagram app in here. So we also can change this icon of this app. So to change this, there will be the need of to add one dependency in our pubspec.yaml file. So check our pubspec.yaml file. Do we have already this dependency? So we got Flutter block, equatable, cloud firestore, firebase storage, and all of these, but we don't have this dependency. So we will add this dependency. That dependency is just move to the browser and search in here the Flutter icon launcher, and then go to this Flutter icon launcher and copy this Flutter icon launcher latest version and paste it in here. That's it. Or we don't have to add this Flutter icon launchers in the dependencies, but we have to add it in the dev dependencies. So after this, one more thing here we have to do is we are going to have this Flutter icons in place. So the Android will be icon launcher, the iOS will be true for this, and the image path. So first we must have the Instagram icon to put the icon in here. So let's go and add the assets in the image in the assets. So paste this Instagram in here, and we got the Instagram PNG in here. So now go, there is an error, asset resources. So let's delete this from here and get the dependencies and wait a bit for this. And when this pub gets completes, so one thing you have to do to put the path of the image in here, that will be in the assets instagram.png, and let's confirm the name. We have instagram.png, and then we have to run one command in the terminal. So that command will be flutter pub run flutter launcher icons. So hit enter, and this will take a while. And it says successfully generated launcher icons. So now stop your main.dart and then run your main.dart again. So when your application installs again in the device, and open up the emulator and go minimize, and you can see we got the Instagram icon in here, and that's what we wanted. So what we are done, I already explained. We have done so many things in here. We are getting the post in here, following followers like this, and we can also go to the user profile from here, and that was it. And we are done with so many things in the Instagram. So I hope this course was helpful and you have learned many things from this. And if you have any queries and questions, so please ask me in the comment section, and also you can ask me in the Instagram, and you can take the link of my Instagram in the video description. So that was it for also this last video of this Instagram, and hope this video was helpful. If so, show some love in the comment section, and also let me know if something is not clear to you. So for now, goodbye, and I will see you in the next upcoming amazing course.